Are we seeing the next showdown? Are we seeing the fact of Red Sea being more than just a small terror group trying to take over and cause problems and mischiefs for our cargo ships? Today, let's discuss that, because there's something that just transpired that should make us say, wait, this could be a lot bigger than we thought. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, especially if you like this, and comment below. Tell us what you think about this video. Also, when you comment, it helps us gain wisdom and helps our community grow together with a more common sense approach to the life that we live in, this crazy world that we're living in right now. And this goes along with it. Now, we've been having this proxy situation in Ukraine. We know that. We're having the issues with Israel, Gaza. We're having even the issues in Guyana. There's a lot going on. And we've talked about the movement of troops and the deployments. It's all a little sketch. And so we've had, military vessels in the Red Sea. We're actually getting our tails handed to us. It's amazing that we can't control these drones. We can't control getting cargo in and out. Now, there's been stories to show that the Houthis come along and said, look, we're just going to hurt U.S. and U.K. because we don't want them to go to Israel and help Israel. Ultimately, it is a situation where Russia, China, y'all go through. Well, there's a little hiccup, and there was another ship that was hit from the Asian Pacific, and so now it's caused a little bit of a problem. So we have U.S. warships over there. Remember, there is a war just right up the strait, basically, right up the Red Sea in Israel. You have all the Middle East, which is not the most safest place for us as Americans, but we have UK vessels, we have US vessels, and then we have our warships over there that's helping try to get through that. We have drones, all that coming from this Houthi attack, which is just a proxy again for Iran. That's what's happening. That's already a bad situation. Now, on top of that, there's reports that our Russian warship is making its way to the Red Sea. It said the Russian's Navy Pacific Fleet has confirmed that it has sent several warships into the strait, into the Red Sea. At the moment, Houthi attacks against international shipping has been ongoing. However, it tends to lean towards the US and UK. But there has been a lot of attacks on other ships internationally. The US military coalition has been trying to solve the problem, which has not done really well. The Russian defense minister says they have identified one warship and several more going to support them. It is unclear what their goals and objectives are, though. It says the ultimate destination of the vessel has not been disclosed, but it is going towards the Red Sea. The assigned task within the framework of a long-range sea campaign. Again, just a lot of terminology that makes you think there's more to this Houthi attack. There's more to this strait. I mean, again, it's a thoroughfare. It's just like us with the bridge situation here in Baltimore. We depend on international cargo in and out. That's what we've developed in this world, because we're not building nationalist countries to where they can be self-sustainable. We depend on the world to bring in all our goods, and we depend on the world to buy our goods. Well, there's big problems. Billions of dollars is going to affect here in our economy. What the same thing happens in this Red Sea and the Strait is that all these African nations and these Middle Eastern nations and Israel, and they depend on this strait to get goods in and out. Well, at the bottom of that strait is where the Houthi is set up, and they're the ones causing the mischief and the issues. It says the Vayag, which is this ship, had earlier participated in Navy drills with Iran, China, and Russia in the Indian Ocean, which Moscow described as just practice for safety of maritime economic activities. Well, this could be what this was we're allowing these ships to learn how to navigate, cruise, and a lot of their cargo through this passage. Remember, this is not just for US and UK. There is a lot of Chinese and Russia exports going to this strait as well. Well, the Houthis already said they're not going to cause problems, but we are talking about a terror group here. But did you notice the third party in the China-Russia situation was Iran? That's how they're getting that inside information to say, you know what, I think that Houthi won't mess with us because we're actually doing business with whom is funding Houthi, which is Iran. It says the question remains whether Russia is sending its warships out of concern of Houthi attacks, or are they doing something to help Houthi attacks? Now, that's not been proven, but they are simply working alongside, and it says simultaneously the Houthis have done agreements with China and Russia. So if that's the case, why are we seeing a Russian warship and even several other vessels they said that could possibly join them to enter the Red Sea? Now remember, this strait, this Red Sea area, Red Sea of course is big, but the strait itself, this is not a big area. So we're putting our warships, we're putting UK warships, we're putting cargo vessels through there, and we're putting Russia through there. Russia warships through there. Now, Iran's already got presence there. China's got cargo ships going through there. Are we setting up for a major maritime naval issue here? I think we're running a lot of precarious, I think we're running a very precarious operations, because now what if all of a sudden a hiccup happens with the drone? What if all of a sudden a hiccup happens with a missile that was shot wrong? Who's going to be to blame? Remember, there's propaganda around this stuff too. So if people want to go to war, quote unquote war with Russia, or people want to go to war with China, or people want to go to war with Iran, this could play in their favor. I'm not in that group, I'm not in that camp, but I'm scared that we're seeing a movement towards, again, the Middle East, but we're seeing international trade issues, which causes for panic because it messes with people's goods and food. But now you're seeing a terror group side with really some major powers that is trying to hurt the other powers. Now, it's just what we're doing with Ukraine. We're funding, and NATO's funding Ukraine ultimately to try to cause problems for Russia. Well, now we're seeing it on the opposite side. Is Houthi getting funded by these three big players to then cause more mischief and problems for America and UK? And somehow, our Navy is the biggest fleet and the strongest fleet in the world. However, we're kind of getting outplayed because we're still having this issue that no one's wanting to solve. Now, I'm not for war, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you've got to solve the problem of whatever is happening. If it's a Houthi attack, then dismantle the Houthi attack and let business go as business goes. We don't need to put an air base there. We don't need to fly in and do a 5-year campaign there. If this is just a quote-unquote small terror group that's just funded kind of like Hamas or Hezbollah, and they said it's probably smaller than that, what in the world are we doing by not just going ahead and taking care of this? Remember, go back. We declared them a terror group under Trump. Who released them from that list, and who funded more money towards Iran during this whole time? Biden. It's the same situation with the border. We cut all these policies and these executive orders, and then the Biden got imploded and flooded, and now we're having a problem there. The same situation. You didn't hear nothing about the Houthi. You didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were during the Trump years. But now Biden likes his policy. He releases tons of funds like Obama did to Iran, and all of a sudden we have a terror group that's just sparked up and is causing problems for shipments going to Israel, and including taking a lot of American cargo and UK cargo in the West, quote unquote West, some of their cargo out. Is this something that we should be worried about? And now we have Russian warships making their way this way for a campaign that they plan to have a mission for. That terminology scares me a little bit, and I'm worried that now again we're putting ourselves in the Middle East in a situation where, why? And remember, just last week, where we have a lot of our surveillance coming in Africa from Niger, right there by close to all this area, they're wanting to kick our intelligence out and our surveillance out of that area. Now, that's probably a long process, but that could be a problem, especially if we get into a situation here. Are we having to, again, invest in more defense? Is this just another ploy for another war in the Middle East? Give me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Am I right? The question is this. That strait is very important. It's like the Baltimore port. It's sad that international, we have to depend on everybody else to make it. But we do. We like cheap goods. We like cheap food. We like this food, that food. We like this to be brought from China. We like this from being bought from India. We have to have medicines from all over the world, communication from all over the world. Ultimately, we depend on everybody to play in some way this major game of globalism. And that's scary, because now we get dependent on it. So when our port's down in Baltimore, that's billions of dollars that's going to be affected. When the ports are down in Israel and the Gaza area and all this area towards Egypt in the Red Sea and this strait, that's a problem. So now You see, the problem with trade and supply can make for more tension. And now we have Russian warships to join us in the strait. Are they there to protect and help and harm the Houthi? Or remember, they made a deal with them, so are they there to protect the Houthi? I don't know. Something to think about. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. It means the world to us that you watch us. We humbly thank you, and we hope that you'll give us a thumbs up for this video. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.